Welcome back to Kiwi Bred. In his twilight, Pentire has had arguably the best 12 months of his stud career. I spoke with Ritual Studs John Thompson about the fantastic career of this star racehorse and stallion. It seems Pentire has discovered the secret to equine youthfulness. In Southern Hemisphere terms, the Ritual Stud stallion is now 25, but when Kiwi Bred visited, it appeared that Pentire had just emerged from a dip in the fountain of youth.
Doesn't he look great, Aidan? I mean, he's always been a healthy horse. I said to someone the other day, and all the time he's been here, I think we've had the vet out to him twice, so he's a very cheap horse to keep, but he looks fantastic for his age. You know, he's part of the furniture around here, and I suppose I just expect him to look like that, and he looks the same as nearly as he did when he arrived, which is hard to believe. You know, he's never had a sick day in his life, and I guess, you know, you can see that in the way his coat looks and his general well-being and his condition. He's just a very, very healthy horse.
He's 25 now. Does he give you any indication that he's getting into those sort of twilight years?
No, look, the horse last year, he got a rush of mares at the end of the season, and he, you know, coped with them all after he signed the Melbourne Cup winner and the 2000 Guineas winner within a week. He got them all in foal, and so he served a few mares already this year, so he looks like he's back on form.
A world-class galloper who won twice at Group 1 level in the Irish Champion Stakes and the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth Stakes, Pentire has forged a remarkable career at stud, siring 46 stakes winners, 14 of those at Group 1 level.
He's obviously right up there with the class of horse he's thrown in terms of his Group 1 winners seem to win multiple Group 1s, and they seem to be very good horses. Pentire's side 45 stakes winners, which in itself makes him a high-class stallion, not perhaps a breed-defining stallion, but the key thing to that is that he's side 14 Group 1 winners, so well over a quarter of his stakes winners are Group 1 winners, and I can't think of any other stallion probably in world breeding history perhaps that's ever done that. So, you know, there's two sides to the equation, but when he gets a good horse, he gets an exceptional horse.
But for all his achievements in siring Group 1 winning sprinters to Group 1 winning 2 milers and multiple New Zealand Horses of the Year, there was a week in November 2015 that was to be the most celebrated of his career, when his son Prince of Penzance won the Melbourne Cup.
Here's Prince of Penzance coming on down the outside. Prince of Penzance for Michelle Payne. Now Max Dynamite starts to charge home. Prince of Penzance from Max Dynamite. Prince of Penzance, it's history at Flemington. Michelle Payne. Prince of Penzance beat Max Dynamite.
And another son, Extravagant, was a record-breaking winner of the 2000 Guineas at Riccarton.
But Extravagant, absolutely flamboyant. Extravagant won it by 10.
When you're in this game, you secretly dream these things might happen, and every week you hope you know you're going to have a winner, but it doesn't always eventuate. But I guess everything just fell into place that week, and it was incredible, really.
John Thompson and his Ritual Stud partner Alan Galbraith bred and sold Prince of Penzance, who took Pentire's standing to a new level with his Flemington win on the first Tuesday in November.
Now you realise what that race means. I mean, it's become a world event. Everybody in the world now wants to win the Melbourne Cup. Arab sheikhs, you know, French people, English, Australian, New Zealand. So to win that race just put the international spotlight for that period of time on the farm and on Pentire.
Back in New Zealand, it was Extravagant making all the racing headlines with his brilliant Group 1 double of the 2000 Guineas and the Weight for Age NRM Sprint at Te Rapa.
To win the Weight for Age Sprint against older horses by 8 lengths and also run the fastest New Zealand 2000 Guineas ever, he had tremendous speed.
Must have been exciting watching him sort of develop as a 3-year-old last term.
Yeah, it was, because he was such a lovely yearling. When he went through Karaka, everybody spoke about him as being one of the nicest yearlings on the complex, and he made 375,000, which is obviously a big, you know, for anyone to pay that money. He was a lovely yearling, and to see him go on and perform the way he did was very satisfying for everybody concerned. You'd have to say that he's probably the most talented 3-year-old that he's ever had in terms of winning the 2000 Guineas in such a fast time, and of course speeding the older horses at Weight for Age by 8 lengths. But I guess in the back of your mind there's a horse called Excellent that everybody still talks about, and you know, we wonder how good that horse could have been. I mean, he was a great horse, twice Horse of the Year, but if he had remained sound, he possibly could have been one of the all-time greats ever. Excellent, I think. He's just always been capable of siring a very, very good horse, and his side 3 horses of the year, which is New Zealand Horse of the Year, which I don't think many stallions would have done.
John Thompson believes the versatility of Pentire's top-line performers encapsulates his enviable genetics and superior racetrack ability.
I always felt, and when he first came out here, I think it was John Richardson said to me that he had a lot of Mill Reef about him. I never saw Mill Reef, but John felt that the horse as a type had a lot of Mill Reef. And Mill Reef going back was, you know, he was an unbeaten champion 2-year-old that trained on at 3 and won a Derby and went on at 4 and had an amazing turn of foot. And you can see that in a lot of his progeny. And it is interesting now, because Mill Reef was quite old when he sired Pentire's mother, Pentire would be the closest in the world anyone can get to having Mill Reef blood in their pedigree. So, and you can't have enough Mill Reef blood in your pedigree. I think people perhaps tend to forget what a great racehorse he was. I mean, as a 3-year-old in England, he won 6 from 7 starts, including the Irish Champion Stakes at 2,000 metre Group 1. The only time he was beaten was by Lantara, who was never beaten in the King George, and they were 2 3-year-olds that cleared out from the older horses. But not only that, he came back as a 4-year-old and he ran 4th to Cigar in the Dubai World Cup early in his 4-year-old career, which was on a dirt surface that didn't really suit him. Then he went on and won the King George again, and then he ran in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, and unfortunately it rained, and then he got shipped to Japan to run in the Japan Cup. Well, those were the days before horses really travelled, and to retire sound and to be asked to do that is testament to the horse's ability.
Pentire is continuing to attract strong support from breeders at what appeals as an extremely good value $10,000 plus GST service fee.
As I've made publicly before, Pentire is not a syndicated horse. Probably if he was syndicated at the moment, he'd be serving our mares plus some syndicate mares, and very few outside mares would be available. But of course he's not, so there's a lot of people who are jumping at the opportunity of actually breeding to a horse of his class at 10,000 New Zealand, which doesn't surprise you really.
John, what more can we expect of Pentire?
Well, I guess in the next years we're really going to see him come through as a broodmare sire. Probably early in his career he didn't serve, as I said, huge numbers. He got down to only 20 mares one year, and so therefore he doesn't have the great volume of broodmares out there that a lot of his peers do. But he's already had a very good Group 1 winner called Shootout out of a Pentire mare, and he's clocking up stakes winners all the time. So that'll be the next phase of his career. And interestingly enough, he's got 2 very good sons at stud in New Zealand at the moment in Fairlax, and he's remarkable, both Group 1 performers bred here at Rich Hill. So we look forward to those horses coming through, their progeny coming through as well. So, you know, we could be seeing them in pedigrees for a long, long time yet.
Yes, Pentire looking fantastic. Testament to the terrific job that John Thompson and the staff do at Rich Hill Stud. It's time now for another short break on Kiwi Bred. Still to come, we're at Wellfield Lodge to discuss the acquisition of Vespa with proprietor Bill Gleeson and look at the pedigree of the Ken and Bev Kelso trained Perfect Fit.